Pokemon Platinum. But everyone knows I can beat this game, you can beat this game. In this channel, we look for a real challenge. So here's the rules. If a Pokemon ever faints in battle, damn! As soon as this happens, they must be placed within the graveyard box and may not be used in battle or released again. Because they're dead. That's how being dead works, you're not alive. And only catch the first Pokemon on any given route. And if I failed on the first try, then that route is gone. I can no longer catch anything from it. This is to limit the amount of Pokemon I can have to a finite number. Because it doesn't matter if they die if I can just catch an infinity in any given route. Thirdly, there will be no use of items during battle. All the items that will get used are items that my Pokemon will be holding before that, if I even use them. This is because if I can completely remove the risk of death by just spamming potions, then the previous two rules are worthless, and this is more like just playing Pokemon Platinum but I'm Lance. Fourth but not final rule, all Pokemon must have a nickname. Why? It gets you attached, so when they die you get really sad. That's literally it. Now up to this point, if you're familiar with Pokemon online whatsoever, you know these 4 rules already. They belong to the most standard and popular of Pokemon challenges, the Nuzlocke. But we're far from done. This is just the beginning, the groundwork. Rule number 5, we are not allowed to level our Pokemon past the level of the next gym's ace. I learned later that this is actually exclusive to hardcore Nuzlockes. I always thought this was just normal. Just a glimpse into my mind that hardcore rules really are just easy mode to me. Another part of hardcore Nuzlockes that I had completely forgotten about until now is set battles only. Will not be doing that. What set battles does is it prohibits you from switching your Pokemon when you faint one of the enemies. So you have to constantly play around taking damage if you want to switch. And like that's fair and valid, but I literally forgot until after I already played through a chunk of the game. So here we are. And I think this is far from compensated in terms of challenge by the next rule, which is the retirement and Retirementlocke. After we beat a gym, whatever Pokemon is the oldest in our party or boxes, no sneaking or hiding, just has to be released. You just have to go. You're old, you beat the gym, you retire. Bye-bye. Makes it so all 8 gym badges are 8 guaranteed losses to our roster that we can never recover. And since they're the oldest Pokemon, hence retirement, it's likely that the reliable guys are gonna have to just be retired every gym. Final 2 extra rules are that the frame rate is gonna be terrible, and I'm gonna be fighting to make this game go at a playable pace by just spamming and unspamming fast forward as the game just chucks through. And finally, no rare candy hacking, no EB hacking, none of that. All the leveling and EB training will be done by hand. Non-believers will say that this just because my computer, I mean my Nintendo DS, is a terrible carcass from over 10 years ago that can't even run Pokemon Platinum, and that's why these 2 rules exist. And to that I have to say, A, this is only true of the 7th rule, the 8th I would be doing anyway. Oh, hey, you didn't see that. Our challenge begins in the very first battle against our rival, Berry 2. I'll explain that in a second. If you're wondering why I chose Piplup, I have nothing to say to you. Like, genuinely, I have no idea what I would even say to you, because I don't know why I chose Piplup. Originally, my logic was that I wanted to have Turtwig because, well, with all the bug types and flying types and poison types in the early game, it'd be super easy to counter a grass type. I totally won't struggle to find any counters to grass types. But then I realized, following that logic, why wouldn't I just choose Turtwig and fight Chimchar? There's a bunch of water types. It's not like I'm gonna struggle. Ooh, it's gonna be impossible to find a water type. I guess some part of me just wanted to choose Piplup, I guess. It's a naming scheme that I'll purposely violate with the Piplup because it's not like it matters. I am literally guaranteed to lose my starter as soon as I beat the first gem. By the way, this fight is horrendous. There is nothing for me to do. Barry just spams mad defense buffs, and it goes down to slow, painful RNG. There is nothing I can do about it, and the reason he's called Barry 2, and I am called Nurse 2, because it's like a retirement home nurse, is because I lost a run to this fight where I can't do anything about anything. Whatever, man, just get me and my 10 FPS out of here. The beginning of the Gen 4 games is so painfully slow. It's like making a Pokemon challenge video and the challenge only starts 3 minutes in. Why won't you just give me my Pokeballs and then you can throw dialogue boxes my way? Our starter is of a hasty nature, which reduces defense and increases speed. Will this matter? Probably not. I named him Private, like the penguin of Madagascar, except you can't see it at all because it's on the bottom screen, which has nothing important going on 95% of the time, so I just cut it out. Shut up! Then we get the TM for return, which I'll be saving up until later. And then, oh my god. When will we get to the game? Okay, there it is. We get the balls that officially start this challenge for real, and I'm immediately off to make mistakes with them. My logic here was, well, Starly's pretty common and I don't want to raise it from level 2. I'll just catch another Starly from a later route and I just won't deal with this. Why we would take such a risk, I have no idea. Dude, just take the Staraptor. It's so free. Worst part is, I did this twice in a row. Somebody get this Nuzlocke away from me. I can't be trusted to handle it. And because of my severe lack of judgment, now I am stuck with a Bidoof. Meet Tulip the Bidoof, the flower that symbolizes new beginnings. I don't know why I did this. He has the same nature as my starter. I didn't even have to choose. I could have had both a Bidoof and a Starly, but no, I just gotta be dumb. Considering all the aforementioned mistakes, and the mistakes that you'll see just happening in the course of this battle, like just randomly risking crits, I'm not exactly the most professional Nuzlocker. In fact, this is pretty much the first I've ever done, at least to this level, recording it and stuff. Not just me as a kid trying to test the challenge and failing miserably. Which means that I am poor at all this. I don't have any of the skills, I don't have any of the resource, I don't have any of the experience. This is kind of on purpose, it's part of the charm, I guess. I've been seeing Nuzlocke videos floating around and I'm like, damn, there definitely is a market out there for people who want to see like a professional challenge done by someone as far from professional as possible. It brings a sort of relatability, you know? If you like to see people doing and making plentiful mistakes for no reason, welcome. If you don't, I'm sorry for what you're about to watch and have already been watching. We get to Jubilife where we meet Looker and we get the BS recorder. What does this do again? I think my Nintendo DS is having a bad time right now. This gives us access to a new route, 1, where we try and find the Bidoof. It's a duplicate, so I can't catch it, but I had forgotten that according to the rules of a Nuzlocke, this just means I can catch another Pokemon from this route. I don't remember this. Very professional Nuzlocker here, by the way. So I just KO it and I move on with my life, which could, well, cost me my Pokemon's lives. Now this guy just invented these watches. Pay close attention. I think the watch is nice, it's fine, I see why it's there, it offers nice features. Why do I have to answer these clowns to get it? Couldn't the guy just give the Pokewatch to me? This is kind of like a tutorial. I already suffered this game's tutorial, and the clowns don't even tell you anything useful. This one asked, hey, do you get experience when you beat a Pokemon? Which you would already have to know to get to this city. Genuinely, what does this serve? Even though they were just invented, Looker knows about the Pokewatches and just won't let me out of the city unless I have one. What level of capitalism propaganda is this? Hey, if you don't have the newest watch, you're not going out. What? Just let me go. I get the darn watch you won't even get to see ever, and that advances us to the next route where we combat the next rival battle, which shouldn't be a challenge, except I only have 2 Pokemon because of repeated mistakes. He goes back to spamming the defense buff quote-unquote strategy, but thanks to God, Piplup is a special attacker, so I don't have to last 3 years in this fight again. I still had to switch to my Bidoof, Tulip, to avoid a crit kill. No crit ended up happening, but better safe than sorry. New route means we get one more opportunity for a new encounter, a new ally to join our team. We get the one chance. Too bad it's a Kricketot. I think this may be the worst encounter that we can ever find. Not only in this route, because I probably missed another Starly chance. Not in this game, in this series. Okay, first of all, it's a 10% chance. I got a 10% chance and I missed so many better Pokemon. I am not getting a Starly, man. Alright, so it prevents you from getting better Pokemon. That's not the worst thing a wild encounter can do. But here's this thing, second, and perhaps its biggest sin to God and just existence as a whole. Look at this learn set. 3 moves. 3. The only attack this thing has when you catch it is Bite, which requires you to get hit at least 3 times to do any damage. And it doesn't learn any other attack until level 16, past the first gym. Its only method of doing damage requires it to get hit in a Nuzlocke. Oh well, it's not that risky if you level it up on wild encounters. Yeah, with that HP stat of 37 and that base stat total lower than Magikarp's and Caterpie's. You heard that right. This thing is weaker than a Magikarp. Because it evolves at only level 10, you have to delay its evolution for 6 levels. You have to delay Cricketot's evolution, like it's worth such a thing, for Bug Bite, which is its strongest move at only 60 base power. Incredible. And all of that, you can finally evolve it into a Cricketoon, which is a lower base stat total than all of these. Simply impeccable. In the makings of this game, they realized there is zero reason to ever want this Pokemon line, so they fixed that by making its design and cry just cool, just awesome. And I actually don't even know how a cricket makes that sound. Are you hearing this? I can't even make that sound with a fully articulate human mouth. In fact, I don't even know what that sound is. This thing seriously needs like a regional variant or evolution or something. I ended up naming it Dandelion. I was gonna name it Dandelion, but I accidentally put an extra O in, and I did not care enough to correct that. It's a dandelion because crickets eat dandelions, I guess. That's the level we're on right now. Also, it's of a lax nature. That's okay enough, I guess, but it's a Kricketot, doesn't really matter. With the 2 minutes of obligatory hating on Kricketot over, we make it to the cave that connects to the next city, where we get the HM for Rock Smash, and we get a new encounter, which, come on, it's a cave. It's obviously a Zubat. Say hello to Lampent Zubat, named after the Lampent flora, a type of plant that appears within caves. Citation needed. It's gonna be hard to level up this fella, with only Leech Life, but I'm sure by the time he's learning stuff like Bite, he'll be really useful. He might even clutch our entire run against the second gym's grass types. With its modest nature, this Zubat raises its special attack at the cost of its physical attack, which is the one it uses. Yeah, this is about the worst nature it could have had for a Zubat. Clearly this run is just not blessed by any kind of luck. Borg City offers our first free items in the form of a Great Ball and a Dusk Ball. And if you think I already missed something, please don't tell anybody. Also gives us access to Route 207, where we can catch yet another friend that we probably need to beat this gem. And it's a Machop, which is extremely useful and just what I needed. For once, the gods have blessed us. Gladiolus, the flower of a warrior, you shall serve me well. Lax nature increases its defense at the cost of its speed, which I didn't really care for a Machop, and it has the Guts ability. This Pokemon is so goated, starting to suspect this like the anti-Miltank Machop, where this Pokemon was just installed here to exterminate everything around. And that power trip gives me a thirst for blood. With Gladiolus in my hand, I just need to kill, and I completely forget that there's a new Pokemon, my man. Dude, you can catch it, girl. What am I doing? Why did I just kill it? I don't know. Whatever's going on in my head, it's very powerful and it demands carnage. We meet the gym leader inside the cave and convince him to do his job. Heh, you avoided the long way around? Let's see why you do that. And there's your answer. The strategy is simple. Piplup Private can deal with Kroark's Geodude rather easily. And since Onix weighs a lot, Gladiolus' low kick should be able to one-shot it as well. As for Cranidos, a combination of both shall suffice since they'll be at full health. It shouldn't be any difficulty. Although Onix outspeeds with 3 damage, things seem to be going perfectly according to plan. It survives a low kick, surprisingly, but because the gym leader has to waste time healing, we managed to secure the KO anyways. And here comes the beast. Since Cranidos doesn't weigh nearly as much as Piplup does, I figure I make a switch here. And I'm pretty confident in that decision. Until I tank a headbutt. Cranidos has over 100 in its base attack stat. Who gave this to a first gym leader's ace? And headbutt is 70 power, far stronger than anything else I have seen to this point. I can't switch in, none of my Pokemon can take more of 2 hits, except Gladiolus, but even if I switch him in like that, the damage he'll take is too much. He won't be able to survive. With the chance to flinch, I simply can't risk it. I know what was happening. With a heavy heart, I let it be so. I had to sacrifice Private, and although I know I was going to lose him anyway, the loss is still heavily felt. Unsure if I'll even win with this sacrifice, I switch to Lampin, who heroically tanks a headbutt and connects with a supersonic, emboldened by the loss of his friend. This gives me a miraculous chance to switch to Gladiolus as the Crandalus hits itself, putting itself perfectly in range for me to take the blow and eliminate it. All I have to do is hope that this doesn't flinch me or crit, and the victory will be ours. A Pyrrhic one, but a victory nonetheless. And as the battle's finishing blow connects, I look to the skies and think of the great beyond's new angel, our penguin friend who has been with us for all of like a singular hour, maybe an hour and a half, two if you're stretching it. Stealth rocks in a playthrough, my man? When am I supposed to use this? It is with a heavy, deeply sorrowful heart that I have to place our starter in the graveyard, where he'll rest, knowing that his dream is carried on by us. I realized then, because of the rules that I myself invented, you have to retire a Pokemon after you beat the gym, and Private died during the gym leader battle. So we also lost Tulip. Well, he's not dead, he's just retired, but that means we have to continue the rest of the game with only 3 Pokemon, one of which is a Kricketot that's still level 5 that I haven't even touched since I caught him. This spells great things for this run. 10% in the game and we already have 2 losses, but it is because of those losses that we have no option but to continue forth. You can like and comment and subscribe and stuff. I mean, you watched 17 minutes. I figured you'd... Never mind.